Hey guys, so this is going to be a little different than most of my videos. I'm really inspired right now, and I haven't actually written anything fucking down. So hopefully I can stay a good tangent thought, but it's something that I've noticed a lot, and it's really starting to bother me, and it's people giving young artists or new artists bad advice, or artists not doing enough research when they're taking the leap into being self-employed. All right, and also I have a fan on because it's hot as shit in California right now, and the house we have doesn't have air conditioning, so I'm dying. So hopefully the fan isn't too distracting. I hope. And I also need to have a fan for my laptop, so I'm just hoping that doesn't come up or it doesn't bother you. And I hopefully the audio again isn't weird and muffled and underwater like it was when I was sick. But enough tangents. Let's get on the topic. The reason why this bothers me is I recently did, at the time of recording this, I was house sitting for a friend. I was dog sitting, and they paid me for it. And I couldn't get any work done while I was house sitting for him. No big deal, I was getting paid for it. But I was talking to an artist friend of mine, and they were telling me how it was stupid for me to do the house sitting and help my friend out, even though my friend paid me, which they really didn't have to pay me. I'm very happy they paid me, but the reason why is they also bought me food so I wouldn't have to go out of my way to get food. And it was just dog sitting. It was making sure their dogs are fed and have water and taken care of. It's not that hard of a job. Sorry if people are dog sitters and I insulted you. At least for my friends, their dogs are pretty well behaved. So I didn't have that much of an issue. But my friend was saying, because I lost out time working on commissions, even though I was getting paid, alright, I shouldn't have taken the job. And to them, I told them, that's foolish. I'm not going to not take an easy job for side money. And this is something I've kind of always done, and I guess people just don't do. Alright, so sorry about that. Quick cut. Fiance came home and talked to me, so I had to cut that out. But what I was trying to say was, I have always been the person to, if the opportunity came up and it wasn't a nuisance for me to make spare cash, I would do it. I know for years, and I still kind of do it now, even when I was working retail and I was a teacher's aide and I was doing all these other jobs, before I was doing commissions, I was offered, like, I don't really know what it's called, because the person who I worked for never really had a position for it, but you know, the person who wears the orange vest and, like, directs people where to park for events? I was that person, and for, like, a weekend doing just that for a full day, I made, like, $300, which at the time of working my retail jobs was like an entire week's pay on top of working a weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really get a day off, but to me, you know, directing someone where to park their car and having a nice seat and paid lunch and an umbrella wasn't that much of a job. It wasn't like my retail jobs where I was constantly running around and moving and doing stuff, you know. And I see artists now. The reason for this is I see artists now who they see artists on YouTube or commission artists or just online artists who are successful doing one thing. They have like just an Etsy store and nothing else, or maybe they have a Redbubble or Society 6 and nothing else, and they make enough for that to be their living. Good for them. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm more than certain those people had been doing this for a long time to where they were able to gain the following, to gain that. And even then, I am a paranoid person. This is just my views on it. This isn't like every artist should think this way. This is how I rationalize it. That website might not always be there. A perfect example of this is, for people who don't know or don't remember, MySpace was a thing. I don't know if people got paid to work on MySpace or not, but MySpace was huge, and everyone had a MySpace. Everyone loved MySpace. Same with, like, other messengers besides Discord or Skype. There was, like, Yahoo and MSN and all these things that everybody used. AOL, you know, everybody used them. Then other things came out, and those things fell to the wayside. Eventually, that's going to happen to all of these sites. Websites can stay up for a long time, but there is going to be something better eventually. And then you're starting over fresh, somewhat, fucking car, somewhat fresh, all over again. And my buddy just texted me that she watched a YouTuber who literally made a video where they were crying and upset because of the YouTube ad apocalypse, and that now they're going to lose their house. They're going to lose their money, they're going to lose all this, and they have nothing to do, and they have to open a Patreon now because they put all of their eggs in one basket. They counted their chickens before they hatched. Now, do I have a problem with YouTubers making a living on YouTube? No. What I have a problem with is people who get the idea that being an online artist is easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. Not just even, forget good art quality, because there are some very popular, famous artists out there who don't have good art quality. They're just famous and out there because they know how to market, they know how to network, they know how to talk to people, and they have other incomes, like I was doing. I recently, which will be a video soon, I recently invested in buying a fucking button maker so I can make buttons, because I have wanted for a long time to have an online store like an Etsy, like, a Society 6. I mean, not Society 6, but like an Etsy or a Store Envy. I don't know why I always get those mixed up. So I can have another force of income. I like doing commissions. Sometimes it does get tiring, but I think that's like in any job. Eventually you're going to get tired. It's gonna be very monotonous. That's why I feel you should do other forms of income. Like people who have Patreon but still take commissions or still make YouTube videos or still this and that and this and that. You need to have multiple forms of income, especially being self-employed and working online. Because like I said, you never know when a new thing's gonna come up. Or something like the YouTube ad apocalypse is gonna come out. And it really bothers me when I see people not manage their money properly. I am not one of those people that says, well, you know what? You should eat beans and rice and ramen and never spend your money and never go out, never have fun, never treat yourself. No, I am not one of those people. I feel if you really want something, and this is coming from someone who I was also talking to another friend of mine, my buddy Lon, about this recently. I actually came from a rich family. I did. I didn't know this growing up. I was very privileged as a kid. My family got hurt and lost a lot of money during the boom, but my parents were so financially stable and proper with their money that my parents were able to live off of their savings for almost 10 years now. And it's hard for them now, but they're making money again and they're proper with it and they learned proper money management, and not from their family. I know for a fact my grandparents, except for one grandparent, did not have their shit together. They were homeless, they were on food stamps, they were on that, and that. Nothing on people who need government assistance, but my grandparents, I found out in my older age, were people who loved to abuse the system. They were those people. There's a certain reason I don't like them, except for one grandparent. And when I see people, especially in California, this is really big, you'll see people who don't have money to pitch in for a $5 pizza, but they'll be going to Disneyland and spending everything and going into debt for one day of Disney. I am a kind of person, even coming from a place of privilege, that saw that if you manage your money properly, you can have a good life. You can be successful and you can have a buffer. It's why I work so hard to always have savings. Even if it's minuscule, I work to have savings. And I had a couple people message me on my private Facebook, because it was my personal Facebook, about how it was very foolish of me to buy this button maker. I've had this button maker on my mind for years. I've had this in my wish list for 4 years. It has never once gone down in price. I was randomly searching the internet and reorganizing some folders and stuff, and I saw it had dropped in price dramatically. It was nearly half off. This thing went from $200 something to $99 with free shipping and no tax. And it was going fast. And I thought about it, and I really struggled with it, because I was like, okay, I have savings. I have my bills set for this month. It's the start of the month when I'm recording this. When I bought it, it was at the start of June. And I have the money to get this button maker. But should I spend this money on the button maker? When I could put that money back in savings, or, it's $100. I could go buy something nice. I can go out. I could go get myself something nice and spoil myself, maybe get some commissions. But I thought realistically, and I was like, I've wanted this button maker for so long. I've wanted to do an online store of selling originals and doing this and working at conventions. This is an investment opportunity. And I bought the button maker, and I paid off the credit card because I had to use a credit card because I had to transfer the money from PayPal. People who understand who use PayPal know what I'm talking about. You know, it sometimes takes money to pay it off. But at the time of recording this, I have paid it off. I paid off the credit card that I bought the button maker on, and I'll go with that. But then I see things where people are so bad at managing their money that they make these videos where they are bawling and crying and talking about how they're losing everything. And all I can think of is you are obviously living above your means, because if you weren't, you would have the savings to at least make it through the month. I'm not saying shit happens. Shit does happen. But I have seen this nonstop on YouTube right now, and it's really bothering me because I have had people message me, and I also have a little brother who's in high school where he has friends who have been dropping out of high school because they think they can make millions on YouTube. And why? Because they can make millions on YouTube. Why would they go to school when they're good at it, when they could make millions on YouTube? And then this shit happens, and kids are fucking up their futures. I feel, and this is something that really hits me to the core, you should treat yourself if you've deserved it. If you found something you really wanted, I'll use the Nintendo Switch as a perfect fucking example, alright? As an artist, do you need a Nintendo Switch? No, you don't. You don't need it like you need supplies. But do you really want it? Do you work hard? Then you put the money away. You put it on the side. And if shit happens in your life, you have that money there. The Switch will always be there. You can get it later. I see people who go out of their way to get these things, and some are even my close personal friends, and then they literally have no money. This happened to a very dear friend of mine a few years back. He bought I think it was the PS4, like when the PS4 came out. He bought the PS4, and he lost his job. He had no savings, just bought an expensive system, and used his last paycheck to buy that system, and didn't realize he was going to lose his job. This friend of mine had a really hard time, and I felt so bad for them. And I worked so hard to help them out, because they helped me out. And they talked to me recently about this, and how they admit they were so stupid to have done that. They should have waited. They should have set that check aside, because that $500 could have helped them throughout that month. And everything's in retrospect. But this is something I feel people need to understand. You can't make an income on one thing anymore. It's just not reasonable, and it's not viable. Even working a retail job, and you think everything's okay, anything can happen, so you should have other incomes. Am I saying go out and work 3 jobs and work yourself to death? No. But I'm saying if the opportunity persists and comes up, like you did with me, my friends needed me to dog sit. I made $150 just dog sitting a dog for a week. That might not sound like a lot, but that was money I probably would have made that week anyway. So to me, I'm like, well, I rationalized it and it made sense. So, is it bad? No. Work yourself to death? Don't do that. But be smart with your money. That's all I'm trying to say, because I care about you guys. I care about people. I don't like seeing people fucking suffer, even people I don't know. And I hate when I see YouTube artists giving young, impressionable people, or not even young, just impressionable people who want to do this, false hope. And that's all I want to say about this video. I know I'm not my happy-go-lucky self, but this is something that really, really rocks me to the core and means a lot to me. And I hope the audio isn't fucked up, because I'm not re-recording this. I love you guys, and I just want people to be safe. I want you to be happy. That's all I want. And money problems makes no one happy. Especially when it is our own fault. I have been at fault of this. I'm not saying be perfect. But try to be realistic. And I hope I was rational enough and made sense to you guys, because I love you. And as always, I will. See you guys next time. Bye.